Oh, I didn't do it for you either.
That's the first time he's not done it for me, to be fair.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we could do like a little ad lib, but I'm not going to do that because
Roll
that's.
the intro.
Wait, I need to
Wait.
find it. I don't even know which one it is.
Rob, we just went through this. Oh,
No,
man.
not it. Oh, wait, no, I got that. Oh, there you go.
WF representing Palace, so let's tell you about Palace. Rolling straight to the ceiling, crowns and crystals, top like journeys, dishing out malice. Hold up, South London's grandest, far from bandits. Everything earned for a goal of elevation. Just passing the team over here might finish out. Bright future we can't vanish. SE25 any day, that's sellers. Rev up the engines, no more reverse reactions. Fan cams, bands on stream. Share up the team, support the dream team. When eagles fly, make noise and scheme. Dare to dream or dream to dare. Taking a step to become supreme.
Yes, guys, we are back. We're going to pretend that first 30 seconds didn't happen. We are back with
Seconds?
exactly the first rule of the first 30 seconds. Don't talk about the first.
Don't talk about Fight Club. Oh,
yeah, we're back with another one. Obviously, we did Doncaster last week, and now we are moving on to Everton at home. As always, I'm joined by JC. How are you doing?
I am good. Good watch along yesterday. Thank you everyone for watching that. That was a good laugh. Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm just looking forward to Premier League football again. Not saying Doncaster was a bad game, but looking forward to going back to Selhurst again. Really.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, yeah, I was up there yesterday, and like you could tell, like the kind of general vibe was like, obviously like we scored relatively early. I think they had like a couple of half chances here and there, but like, it was one of those games where like, you're expecting to win, so not everyone's not quite 100% into it. But nevertheless, it was a good evening out, and yeah, I think Doncaster's a nice little town, to be fair. But yeah, but anyways, we're not here to talk about Doncaster. We are here to talk about Everton. And in the chat today, we have the dog. As always, if we sold Kamada, how much do you think we'll get? Is he on a 2-year contract? Is it a 2-year contract?
I think it's 3 years.
Is it 3 years?
I think it's 3 years.
That would be a determiner. To be fair, I think. I mean, I know
quid?
50 quid. I mean, yeah, that's like a price of Freddo these days. Chairman saying not a lot. I could see maybe like a Bundesliga team or maybe a Serie A team.
10,
maybe
10, 15 here and there.
Maybe. I don't know.
Premier League tax.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, even if we got, say, 5 mil for him, I don't think that's bad business, really.
No, he's free. It's nothing but profit.
Yeah, exactly. And I think even if you balance it out with his wages, I think that actually ends up like breaking even as well.
No, we'd be in the green a little bit, actually.
How much is he on? I can't remember. Or roughly.
I think it's 105. So that'd be 5 million. No, it will be a little bit in the red. So that'd be 5,400,000 off the top of my head. So we'd be 400 grand out of debt, out of pocket. But at the end of the day, he scored a few goals for us. I reckon him getting us through to the next round in the cup against Villa, that goal alone probably made that 400 grand. So, it probably works out.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean, I think at the moment he's doing okay. He's doing okay as like a depth option. I think.
Was he all right yesterday? He looked a little bit all over the place.
My feeling was that he kind of not underestimated, because I think he has looked a little bit better again, like in the Premier League. So obviously you would expect. Because I know people say lower league opposition more physical. I don't think that's really true, to be honest. In my honest opinion, like I think the physicality of a Premier League player is unmatched, really, in that sense. And I think he maybe was caught off guard a little bit, because obviously, like if you're a player who's never played in England, I mean, this is purely me putting 2 and 2 and probably getting 5 here. but like, you know, if you think about, say, like when he was in the Bundesliga, and he's like Eintracht Frankfurt were playing a 4th tier side. In Germany, that's a non-professional. You know what I mean? That's an amateur team. So maybe he was caught off guard a little bit. Maybe he was expecting him to be not as good. Perhaps I'm not too sure, but I thought like he was okay, but uninspiring, I would say. Then, to be honest, I don't think anyone really stood out. Really, I think
Hughes was the man of the match for me watching on the TV.
Yeah, I think so, and obviously his assist for Devaney was very, very nice.
I thought Devaney had a bit of a howler, if I'm really honest, apart from his goal.
Yeah,
I don't know how he
think
missed
he was
that
great.
chance.
I mean, to be fair to him, is he really like he? I think like he was being played out of position. Like, would I put him in that 10? Probably not really. If I ever was going to put him in the 10, I'd probably put him in the left side 10 rather than the right side 10. So, but yeah, I didn't think he was that great. Obviously, man of the match for me was França. So, shout out to him. One thing I do want to mention, actually, I know the reason why we're waffling is because we don't have a lot to say about Everton. So,
França looks like he's bulked up a bit.
Well, he should do.
He don't look like a twig anymore.
I think because I mean, obviously he's gotten a bit older now, isn't he? Like I think he's a whole year older now.
Oh, he's 21 now.
Yeah, I think. One thing I do want to say actually was Lacroix at the end. I think that people saw the video of it floating around. I think pushing him into the limelight. And I think, you know what? Honestly, I think that's captain material. Like he's obviously he's had a bit of a torrid time, so he's probably a bit low on confidence. That's probably where like the rumors of him being homesick has come from. Because at the end of the day, like if you're lying on the medical table for 9 months, having been a bit shone up by having not really been used by the previous manager as well. You've come to a bit of a big fanfare, given a club legend's number. Probably, and then putting him in that limelight because he was getting a really good reception yesterday. Like the França song, when the Sambarism starts to play, that one was getting sung out. So I think he needs to lap that up a little bit. But yeah, anyways,
I said it after a few games with Lacroix. I said I think Lacroix is a better captain than Mark.
I think Lacroix is definitely a lot more vocal.
More of a lead. I think he's more of a leader, but I do think that Mark is still probably the better player. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I think Mark is a better player. Like Mark, let's all get it twisted. Gay's a brilliant,
unreal
centre back, and because I remember when I haven't seen him for a while, but in the comments we got the Bayern fan, wasn't it, Kenny? And I know he was saying not too sure about his temperament, but I think his temperament's come out in a very good way, actually. Obviously he's not. From what it appears, it doesn't sound like he's, moaning at other players or the refs or whatever. Like it's coming out in a good way, and that was
it looks like his passion is. I wouldn't say similar to Zaha's, but I'd say it's sort of more instead of focused at the refs to lash out if a decision gets done against him. It's more towards the team saying, "Come on, pick it up." So I think that his attitude is actually coming out really well in English culture, really, because that's what we want our centre backs to do. But maybe in Germany, that's quite frowned upon. Like you never know.
Yeah. That is a very good point. And obviously, we love it. Like even when you do even when someone slides into a tackle.
Oh well, Martin Kelly when he did that amazing slide tackle against Burnley, we made a bloody edit about it. He slipped past Morley's. That's crazy.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, it's probably it's probably slowed them down a little bit or something like that. But
the slide tackle never came to anything. But the fans just love it in this country.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Max is a very, very good example of it being done well. Big up Chairman, big up Animal, big up Max YouTube. Is that your surname, Max?
Welcome. He's going to be very rich in the future.
Welcome, mate. Just watch the highlights of last Everton game. Not good. Oh, what? As in the one that we lost 2-1. It wasn't great. I think it was a bit uninspired. I do think we were a bit unlucky in the goals we conceded because, I mean, one was a really good goal from what I remember. And the other one, I can't remember what the other one was. But, yeah. What do you disagree with me, Animal? Was it the...
I think he's your man to match.
No, I think it was something else. I can't remember. So I remember seeing the comment pop up when I was talking, but I can't remember. Big up, Earth. We were there, Kevin. Dreadful second half. But yeah, it was away, wasn't it? Yeah. Daichi had a 91% pass completion, was forward thinking, always tried to progress the ball, made the free kick happen. Yeah, that's a very good point, actually. As I said, I think
brilliant. I'm surprised he didn't score, actually.
Yeah.
Post,
yeah. It did. Yeah. And Max is a better defender. Mark is better all round. One thing I will say about Mark, actually, that I do agree with, Mark does switch off sometimes. That's the only thing I will say about Mark. He sometimes he does switch off a little bit.
I still think Mark's a better defender than Max. Granted, Max has the pace to get back and make an amazing tackle, but I think if you're just saying one-on-one, stand up the defender, I do think Mark is probably better there.
In that situation, yeah, I would agree.
But if you're running back towards goal, saying, "Oh God, we've got to get back," I'm picking Max all day.
Yeah,
just for the pace.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, 1v1 situation, absolutely. I agree with that. And also, the only thing I will say as well, obviously, Gay, we know, isn't as good in the air as Max either. That's the only other thing, really. But I mean, to be fair, like they're both
amazing,
fantastic. Yeah, both fantastic defenders. And honestly, Lacroix, it wouldn't surprise me if someone maybe comes in for him, maybe in the summer or the following summer. I think he's made a really good account of himself.
100%.
And then Mary's big up Mary. Kamada will be one of those players who takes at least a season to get used to our league. Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of players. You look at there's loads of examples throughout the whole league where that is. Like look at Baleba at Brighton, for example. He was rubbish last year. This year he's been pretty good. Some of Bournemouth's players as well. Like Semenyo had a slow start as well. Now very good.
I think last season.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Now
it was about the physicality of the lower leagues. I get what you're saying, but I think we are more effective in our physicality, whereas lower league teams give it more, but it's not as effective. I would agree with that, to be honest. And especially for like if they're playing a team like us as well, they're always going to elevate. Yeah, they got nothing to lose. There's no pressure on them. Absolutely, yeah, they're going to go for it. Like Rob Street tried to kill us yesterday. Honestly, I actually forgot he was even like about until today. No, until today. I didn't even notice.
Oh wow. Okay.
Because when they were subbing, I wasn't really paying attention to who was coming on, so I didn't even really think about it. But anyways, managed to waffle for 13 minutes now, nearly 15 minutes. Let's start talking about the predicted 11s.
Do you know what time it is? It's injury time.
Fergie time.
No, injury time. Let's go through Everton's injuries first. Mangala, injured. Broha, injured. Calvert-Lewin, injured. Yeah.
He normally scores against us, doesn't he?
That's why I'm celebrating. That's why I'm celebrating. Injured. Dwight McNeil, injured. Chermiti, the guy who they bought from Bristol, injured. Seamus Coleman, injured. Nathan Patterson, injured. Mikalenko's back though.
What was wrong with him?
What, Mikalenko? Just the bruised calf.
Oh, that's a shame.
So he's back.
That's a shame.
But that's a lot of good players injured for them. A lot of good players injured for them.
I just looked up Calvert-Lewin's records. It appears there's only 2 teams that he's got more goals against than us.
Are they Premier League teams?
Actually,
Premier
let me make it Premier League goals. Actually, they are Premier League teams, yeah. And actually, if you're only counting Premier League goals, there's only one team who have conceded more to Calvert-Lewin, and that is Newcastle.
Okay.
They've conceded 6. We've conceded 5 to Calvert-Lewin.
Damn, and he's always injured.
Yeah.
Going on to our injuries, Chadi Riyad is injured until next year.
It's so peak, isn't it? Because
we need another centre back. That's what
it's a shame as well. Because actually, I'm going to praise the board a little bit because I do actually think that was a proactive signing for when Gay goes.
Just unfortunate.
Yeah, it's unlucky.
Really unfortunate. Chet Decore injured. Eddie Nketiah is back because he just had a twisted ankle. Eze is back. He had another twisted ankle as well. Joel Ward is still injured, unfortunately, but Ismail Assar, the reason why he wasn't involved is because he had an illness. So he's back as well. So we're getting players back while Everton are dropping like flies. Does that mean that they're going to still beat us? Probably. But we'll get into the predicted 11. Here is what I have gone with, Dan. I've gone with Hendinho in goal, with Mitchell, Gay, Lacroix, Richards, Munoz at the back, with Adam Wharton making his first Premier League start in a hell of a long time, with Will Hughes as his partner, with Eze on the left, Ismail Assar on the right, and JP Mateta through the middle.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a no-brainer. I think Hughes and Wharton would play the other way round, but yeah, that's spot on.
Is your OCD feeling better now, Dan?
That's better now.
But good team, yeah? But how much better is the bench than what it normally is?
Yeah.
Nketiah, Klein, Kamada, Esse, Lerma, Kapora, Dveni, França, Chilwell. We've got options on the bench, like good options now. That we haven't had in ages.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So Everton, it is a Moyes team. Just basically pick West Ham's team and exactly how they played, and just put them in blue shirts and change the names. It's the same thing. You got Pickford, very good goalkeeper. They play a 4-2-3-1, exactly the same formation. Mikalenko, Branthwaite, Tarowski, O'Brien at right back to fill in because Patterson and Coleman are injured. Same. Young can play there, but he's sort of been using Ashley Young as like a forward option when they're trying to chase a game. So if they want to put another forward on, they'll put him on the right wing, and then they'll put another striker on, or they'll put Lindstrom up top with Beto or something like that. Garner and Idrissa Garner Gay in the middle. I don't know if Dan's probably going to talk about him, but James Garner's passing is outrageous. Moving up top, you've got Abdoulaye Doucouré with Iliman Ndiaye on the left, Lindstrom on the right, with Beto up top. Dan, are you agreeing with that? Are you disagreeing with that? Are you putting someone else in?
No, that's exactly what I had. One thing I will say though, I've only just thought about it. That I'm going to completely butcher his name, but Iro Bunham, he was really good earlier in the season, I thought, and he seemed to. Huh?
Oh, so I was going to say him as well. I think his name is Iregbrunnen.
Okay,
but he was at QPR on loan from Aston Villa, if I remember correctly. And when he was there, I think that when we were looking at Doucouré, I think I did a Transfer Weekly talk about him to get instead of Doucouré. I think he's a class player. I really do. I think he's 6'3" or 4" or something like that, and he's really good with his feet. So he's a very good player, very good at building the ball up, very good passer, good defender. I don't know why he. Oh, then again, though, he's got a good Premier League move now, so I wouldn't say that he hasn't got a good move. But good player though.
Yeah, definitely. But that's exactly what I've got down on here as well.
And Beto's come into a little bit of form, and we know what Decore is like going forwards. He shouldn't be as good as he is.
Yeah, definitely. Some quick comments, and then we'll start with their attack. I'm going to tell you now, it's literally my bit is going to be 5 minutes, because there's really not a lot to say. But anyways, both goals from McNeil were very good. Animal saying we should buy Christian Mosquera. I did a thread on him ages ago. Very good player. And
he's very good, but he would have been, as you said here, he would have been the right-sided centre back of the three. He wouldn't be a left-sided one. Mm-hmm. But he hasn't actually had that good of a season this year, which could be a good thing for us to bring his price down a little bit. Because he in the summer he had links to one of the Madrids, I think. And ever since then he's had a bit of a shocker.
Yeah.
Which
it seems like just as a surface level sort of like feeling, it seems like Valencia are just in a really weird place at the moment. Because I think they're knocking down their stadium or something like that as well. And it all just seems like a bit of a mess over there. But anyway.
I think they've got some good, like Valencia got some really good individuals. I think they've still got that Villash in the middle. They got Tierno Barry now, which I'm not going to talk about him anymore because that's a little bit of an unfortunate situation for us. But they've got really good individuals, but the whole team's a bit rubbish.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I mean, I'm just looking at a comment. Animal saying that they've been dying since Peter Lim took over, and their stadium. That's even we're putting that to shame. 2007 started construction, so that's pretty. But anyway, big up Luke, and definitely without two keepers on the bench, that's always a nice thing to see. Big up Damo, big up Rich, and it's still just a shell at the moment. So we'll see. We can play a game. Let's see who does it first. Let's see if we build their stand first or they build their stadium.
I'm going to put £10 on Valencia and finish a whole stadium before we finish our stand.
Yeah.
And I bet you their stadium's going to be cheaper than our one stand as well.
Probably. Right. Let's move on to Everton's attack. Sorry, wardrobe change. I was getting a bit warm then. So right. Everton's attack. So like I said, and I'm not gonna say any stats really because they've only played 4 games under Moyes, so obviously it's quite difficult. But just some things to throw at you. In their game so far, they made 1.1 expected goals versus Villa, 1.8 versus Spurs. But I mean, to be fair, even a school team could probably make that much against Spurs.
0.8 when we were rubbish.
Yeah, exactly. 0.8 Dr. Tottenham, 0.8 XG versus Brighton, 2.5 XG versus Leicester. Now, before this, so under Sean Dyche, in the 19 Premier League games that they had, they only recorded a XG of 1.1 or better in 6 of those games. So they've done it 3 times in the last 4, but under Dyche, it was only 6. Obviously, they are improving there. Now, I haven't noticed really a bigger volume of shots. I couldn't see anything particularly much different, but it does seem like they create better chances on average. So their non-penalty XG per shot versus Villa was 0.11. It was 0.16 versus Spurs and 0.19 versus Leicester. Brighton was a bit of a weird one because I think they just kind of scored a goal and then they just defended for the whole game because they know that Brighton can't break down low blocks. And again, like the amount of touches they have in areas of the pitch is still roughly similar. especially like in the opposition box. And as you'd imagine, they have relatively low possession. I don't have the stats on me, but I know in 2 of those games it was around about 35%. So yeah, they're not a particularly. And in fact, I don't think they had more than 50 in any of 4 of those games, even against, say, like a Leicester.
So their average possession out of all leagues and competitions is 36%.
Yeah, exactly. So that's very low. And under Moyes, that seems to have continued. But anyways, let's talk about how they build up and stuff like that. So, how do I explain this? I tell you what. Let me
show what you're doing first before
Oh,
you start
whoops, isn't
talking.
on there. Oh, shit. My bad. Thank you. Right. So I thought it was up there. Yeah. So, okay. Let's just kind of. I'll show you what their aims are, and then this will make a lot more sense. Okay. So, what their aims
you
are.
need to bear in mind a little bit when you talk about what they do. You're always going to talk about their counter attacking.
Yeah.
They do defend in a 4-4-2. So maybe if you set up them in a 4-4-2, it might make things a little bit easier for you to explain.
Okay. So I'm assuming it'll be like this then, something like that. So what they try to do is they're trying to exploit this space in here. So whether this is over here or over there, they want to try and exploit this space in behind. So what they'll do, basically all they're going to do is, let's say Tarkowski's on the ball. They're going to try and have Beto on this last player here. Decore is going to push up a little bit here to try and support. You'll have this player over here. And generally when they're attacking, they'll kind of look a bit more like this, because O'Brien will stay behind and Mikalenko is very much like more likely to go forwards than O'Brien. And then Ndai will then move inside. I avoided saying the pause. Move inside. And so all they're going to do is literally hit it long as quickly as they can to someone like Beto, or Decore is also good in the air. I've tried to get a flick on, try and bring Beto into the game. But what they're trying to do is trying to get Beto in behind here so then he can run in behind and then, do something like this and then try and score. That's basically it, to be honest. Okay, let's say that it's more wide. So let's say they've managed to put in Lindstrom instead and is over here. Obviously, he's not going to then try and run and try and shoot. He's going to try and cross it as soon as he can into this space here, again for the striker to then try and capitalise on that. One thing I noticed, and I don't know if you agree with this, JC, but one thing I noticed was that when they are sort of defending, it kind of feels like they were quite good at catching teams in this middle third, I think.
Yeah, they've got with Decore, Garner, and Gay, they've got a lot of energy in the middle.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if you think about Decore as the player that he really should be and the player that he was at Watford, you've essentially got 3 DMs there.
Yeah.
So they're very, very good defensively in the middle. So just cutting out the one thing that I've got, like maybe feeding into my bit a little bit here, but the main thing I've got written down here is they do like to stay in a 4-4-2. The front 2 press a hell of a lot, but the middle 3 or 4, they love to just cut out the passing lane.
Yeah.
They do a lot of just sitting in space. And you think, what are they doing? But they're just not allowing one player to just pass straight to another. They won't go out and press the person, but they'll make it as hard as possible for you to get the ball to your teammates.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Which then sort of feeds into us a little bit, where if you've got someone who's really good on the ball, you sort of unpick their whole game plan just because you're good on the ball yourself. If you need to pass to someone, that's where they've got you. But if you're good individually, that's where you can start to unpick this Everton team.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, one thing I noticed with that is like, that if they catch you here, then their first thought is to run and break and try and
run or whack it forwards, really.
Yeah, exactly. And again, it's the same thing. They're trying to get Beto or whoever in behind here. So then they got a good, and it makes sense because, like I said, like with the stats, they don't seem to be taking more shots, but they seem to be creating better chances, which would make sense because obviously something like this is a bet with him the ball here is a much better chance than something like this and Beto's like over here or whatever, like they were doing under Dyche or whatever it is. That's it, shit. And I mean, one thing I would notice, and JC's already alluded to this, but Garner is very decent with his passing. Like there was one goal, I think it was against Leicester. It was Leicester, wasn't it? Like he literally picked that pass straight through here, and Beto was like just clean through. Like it was a, or maybe it was like this. Something I can't remember. And then Beto was basically clean through.
Yeah, he basically passed into a half space, and there was nothing the centre backs could do about it.
Like I think as well. Like I think it's important to say that this isn't hoofball because I think we can get a bit caught in the sense of like, they're just lumping it long and Beto's chasing everything. It's a bit more calculated than that. Like for example, one thing I've seen them do is from a goal kick, they'll have, say, Tarkowski here, Branthwaite will be over here, Mikalenko will be pushed up, and then so then they're kind of watching these players here and they're pushing up, etc., and what have you. But then what they'll do straight away is that Pickford will just pass it to Branthwaite, kind of draw a player in, whoever that is, and then Branthwaite, who's got a decent ping on him, will be the one that pings it. And like I said, it's not just hoofing for the sake of hoofing. Like there is a calculated reason why they're doing this. Like he's going to look for that kind of area if Beto's there, or this kind of area, or even here if Doucouré's here and he can perhaps make something of a flick on or something like that. And I think as well, there is an element. One thing I noticed with Doucouré is that I do think he's a bit more biased to their right-hand side. So I think the reason for that is because if they're on this side, let's say, and say, I don't know, Lindstrom's got the ball or whatever, I think the reason why they do that is because then they've got more players over here. So more of our players are being drawn over here. And because Mikalenko, who I think is good on the ball, they're able to, they can pass it to Garner, and Garner's capable of finding a ball out here or passing it over here, and then they make it over to this side, and then Mikalenko's got a free run on whoever the fullback is. But to be honest with you, besides that, that's about it. And actually another thing to say, again, like I was saying, it's not hoofball because sometimes it won't be like a lofted long pass. It will be, say, like Garner spraying a low ball along the floor. But the point is, they're gonna, as soon as they get it, that is their first thought. They're gonna try and do it, and if they can turn, and if they receive the ball and they can turn, they will turn and they will run at you. And I mean, it's simple but effective. At the end of the day, I think it's one of those things that, like, your defenders, at the end of the day, it's not rocket science. So, like, you know that. Well, Moyes knows that we know how to counter it. So ultimately, we're relying on our defenders to be good at it. And I would say, obviously, we've got 5 defenders. When obviously with the wing backs, so there's absolutely no reason, in my opinion, why Lacroix shouldn't be following around Beto or Doucouré. The only problem I guess you could have there is that maybe Beto drops off and then Doucouré, and then you end up with this space. But then, to be fair, I think Chris Richards did a very decent job the other day. So I don't see why, we've got that extra defender. So why not just man mark one of these players and kind of have them out the game? And obviously the way they play with someone like Lacroix, Beto's going to have to be like there for Lacroix to not catch him. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's going to, I think the way they play is going to fall into our hands a little bit. But that said, individually, we need to win the battles. And the only thing I would maybe be a little bit worried about is perhaps if it's just Hughes and Wharton in that middle and they've got to contend with Gay, Garner, Decore, and Njai, who then moves inside. I don't know if we're going to necessarily win that battle without us having to counteract it with perhaps say, maybe we kind of set up a bit more like this. Like I guess we kind of have been doing, to be fair, where Ismail Assar pushes up and Ebbs drops into that kind of slightly deeper role. That's what I would say.
Well, yeah, it's like what you like. Sometimes, as Dan said, it's not hoofball, but sometimes they do actually play a nice little bit of football. You can see. Obviously, there's an element of just moving forwards as quickly as possible, but you could very well see some really nice combination play. Like in this situation that Dan's got here, you could see the ball being with O'Brien. He pings it into Garner, who first times it out to Lindstrom, who then just lift it over the top behind our centre backs. So you have a really nice bit of play, and then a killer ball straight over the top for the striker to run into. So it's very calculated, and you can actually witness some really nice football from it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think as well, another thing that does need to be said, and this goes for both parts of what we're going to say, but I think Moyes has made the players individually play a lot better as well. Because, I mean, you wouldn't be expecting that Sean Dyche team to be playing actually, nice football at any point under his tenure. And now suddenly Moyes has actually managed to get it. So actually,
giving him confidence.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, sometimes they'll play a 1-2 and they'll, and then that takes the player out of the game. So the only other thing that's worth saying is that they are decent at set pieces as well. So that's another thing to kind of think about.
Statistically, we're better this season.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, to be honest, I'm not so worried about that because we are pretty decent at that now. But obviously, it is something just to take a note of. Because obviously, Tarkovsky's good in there, Brownthwaite's good in there, Decore's good in the air, Beto looks like he's good in the air. So it is something just to kind of watch out a little bit for. I think that's it. Oh. Exeter are beating Forest.
Oh,
I might chuck that on actually after this, but that's all I've got to say. JC, is there anything I've missed or anything you want to add?
I think the only other thing that I would add is I think the two that are the most dangerous for me is Garner and Gay, because both of them are the highest in stats for progressive passes.
Really?
Garner's Garner's got 3.2 progressive passes per game, and Gay has got 4.6. So they are always looking to pass forwards.
Fair play. And actually, another player I'm going to chuck in there who I think is really dangerous and was someone we were potentially after is Njai. I think Njai. I think Njai is a really good on the ball, very good with his feet. Obviously scored against Brighton as well.
Should score against us at their place as well.
Yeah. And I think he's good with his feet. But to be fair, I would back Richards to kind of have him on lock a little bit there. Because he's not, I don't think he's particularly quick off the top of my head, but
he's decent.
He is good. He is good with his feet though. So yeah.
He made Chalobah look a bit silly. I'll say that.
Right. Just go through some comments and then we'll go on to their defense.
Monty's got a good comment.
Where is it? Wharton slips some lovely balls around the corner. He slips them into the box very well as well.
Oh.
And will Exeter follow their neighbours Plymouth? Well, we shall see. And if they did, wow, that's
imagine if they drew each other as well.
The current top four, they drew each other. Actually, I don't know what that one is actually. What that side of it is. Let's have a look. So in the next round, Oh, Ipswich. They'll play Ipswich. Oh yeah, of course. Argyle got City away just for their sins.
Oh, so they beat Liverpool. Now they're going for City.
I'm pretty sure they beat. Who did they beat in the round previously? I'm sure
Hull
they beat.
City
Oh, they.
on penalties.
No, that was Doncaster.
Oh,
Plymouth beat Brentford, I think. So they've gone through 2 Premier League teams already.
damn.
But
And they're about to get
anyway.
relegated from the Championship. That is crazy business.
Right. Let's move on to their defence. Oh, I clicked the wrong one.
Yeah.
No, I'm tired, all right? Leave me alone.
Okay. This ain't gonna be long either, I'll say that. Where do I start? Oh yeah. Low blocks. Yes. They play a low block. We sort of spoke about it a little bit earlier. They defend in a 4-4-2. They like to stay extremely, extremely narrow, extremely, extremely compact. The only difference I had here, Dan, is I had Decore as one of the outfielders with Ndai and Lindstrom as the other 2.
Yeah, to be fair, you said 4-4-2, so I just kind of guessed.
But what they try and do is they try and leave as little space in between the lines as possible and as little space in between the players as possible. So those passing lanes are very difficult to get the ball to. And also what they want to do is they want to try and squeeze you out if you get the ball. So someone like Eze, who's going to pick up the ball and take a touch, he's going to have 4 people converging on him very, very quickly. Pros and cons on that. If Eze can get the ball out of his feet, he could put the ball in for Mateta here, and he would literally have, like, his centre-back will run away from him just to go get the ball. But, you know, if he's getting swarmed by 4 people there, it's going to have to be a world-class pass to get it through all of that danger. Obviously, they want to stay as deep as possible, so there's not as much space in behind for us to run into, which is fine, because most teams do that in a low block. That's how you get around other teams having extremely fast players, really. That's the main way to counter it. And I wouldn't say we've got the fastest players in the world, but the one person that this will absolutely ruin is probably Sarr. He needs that space to run into. And Sarr is one of them guys that if you put him in this Everton team, he'd be incredible. But playing against a low block, Sarr's going to be completely a counter-attack option in this game. But I'm not saying that Sarr will be bad in this game, but I think that Sarr will be better when they have the ball and we win the ball up high. So Sarr can run in behind and then use his pace. Because none of their backline is very quick. So if he ever has space to run into, he will have that all day, every day. They do like to defend very narrowed, obviously, to stop. Like if Richard had... Let me get a ball, actually. I always forget the ball. And we're playing football. So Richards can't make that pass because Ndai will literally just take 1 step forwards and intercept it. So we're going to have to play out wide. But what they do is they'd like to give you the space out wide. They're really not bothered about us having the ball out wide. They will press out wide, but it will be the winger. It won't be the fullback. The fullback will stay tucked in, but the winger will go. So the winger sort of plays as a wing back as well, which makes the job really hard for Ndai and Lindstrom, which is why pretty much every single game, both of them get subbed off, which I think is quite important to talk about as well. But they do have Harrison, they do have Ashley Young, so they do have replacements, but those are replacements. They don't have people to add on to it. So if they go behind, but they still have to take off these guys because they're tired, they haven't really got more quality to bring on. So that's one thing I think we should remember and think about the game later on. Because they like to put the wingers out to defend, wingers aren't the best at defending. I think that's something quite obvious to say. but they will give us a lot of space out wide, so we will be able to cross. But they've got so many bodies in the middle here that crossing is going to be simply just very difficult to actually pick up pass there. Have to try and work the ball in, which is probably where Adam Wharton comes in. He's going to be incredible in this game to, unlock it. Other things, they really hate if you can dribble at someone. I sort of alluded to it earlier when Dan was talking about their when we talk about how they defend. They want to cut off the passing lanes. Eze, who can dribble, he's going to make their life hell for them. Wharton, who can pass into space instead of pass to the feet, he's going to cause hell for them because they cut off the passing lanes. They can't mark the whole pitch to say that. Other than that, that's really how they defend. These two press a lot. I give them that. These two press a lot, and they like to stay high because if they can turn over the ball from here, and we've got a very high line, so most likely if they turn over the ball, these guys are going to be next to, if not standing behind our defenders when they're pushed up, and their first action is going to be yoink, and then that's going to happen. So, method to their madness, I get it, but I think Dan's already spoken about it. Their main thing is counter-attack. Drop deep, defend well, stay in shape, stay solid, and just counter-attack at them. But for me, the best way to beat them is dribble at them because they do make rash decisions in the box. Tarski gave away a penalty and should have given away another one for Bournemouth's second goal in the cup, but they scored anyway, so it wasn't actually given. And also, they can't actually play out from the back at all. They tried to do it, but every time they do it, they either kick the ball out or they can see the goal. So when they're trying to play out from the back, which they don't do very often, try and press it if you can. Done.
Nice.
Proper
yeah. That's the thing. Like we were saying before the stream, like we've done Moyes, like.
Whoa.
Whoa. Why is that? Yeah, I mean, we've played against Moyes like every season for like certainly since TACT-EAGLE started. So we know what to expect, really. Yeah. I guess as well, like I think the reason why they probably backed themselves on the wing as well was like, they got Tarkowski in the middle, Branthwaite. I think they backed themselves to win the header, don't they, really?
Mm-hmm.
And all saying they play how we used to. And you know what? Thank God we don't play like that anymore. Like I know Moyes' football is functional and it obviously it works. Like it's obviously won West Ham a European trophy, but I think after Roy and then after the downfall of Patrick Vieira, I don't think that's something that we really want.
I mean, would you? Okay, here's a question for you. Would you say that Allardyce played that way, but he did it successfully? Because he was down the wing, cross it in, goal.
I think
he did it in a successful way though, so sort of like a Moyes, I guess.
Yeah, I think Allardyce is a weird one because I still think at the time we were still very much the underdogs of the league, so I think there was less pressure, and that's like as long as he saved us, it didn't really matter. And I don't know because Allardyce is a weird one because I mean. I was very young at the time, obviously, so I could be wrong here. But I feel like when he was at Bolton, they actually played some very nice football. Yeah. So, but yeah, no, Allardyce definitely did it well. He was a very good firefighter manager in that sense when we had him. And obviously, I think Benteke scored loads of goals under him as well.
Yeah, 17 in one season.
Yeah. So, yeah, but yeah,
because he had a very good. He had a very, very good team, I remember. I'm sure that I can't remember what our defenders were. Actually, no, I think I do, actually. I think our team was it? It was Hennessy. Well, we know how that went. I think it was Hennessy, Van Arnold, Dan, Sacco on loan.
Yeah.
Was that Wan-Bissaka? I'm thinking it was Wan-Bissaka, wasn't it? Allardyce? No, it wasn't.
No,
Wan-Bissaka was after
Wan-Bissaka
Allardyce.
came under Roy.
So it must have been Ward. And then I remember our midfield after January was Luca, MacArthur, Cabaye, and then we had Zaha, Townsend, Benteke up top. So we had a very good team, actually.
Yeah, that's a very, very, very decent team. For me, actually, the manager who played that kind of football the best, without a doubt, for me, was Pulis. Like how he managed to get us from wherever we were in the table when he came to then being, what was it, 11th or something, or 10th? Like that was just silly, especially with the team that we had as well. Like that was just crazy.
I remember that chairman keeps telling me that Steve Bruce was really good for us, and then he left.
Yeah. Steve Bruce. See, Steve Bruce is the kind of manager who, like, if you had him now, it would be like, what is this dinosaur doing here? Like,
go to the MLS.
if anyone wants to know some good lore about Steve Bruce, I think I've told you this. He wrote a book. Did I tell you that?
No.
He's actually a novelist.
A novelist.
Yeah, I guess that's a writer.
Do you think after every full stop he says "mate"?
So wait. So the name of the book is called Striker. Okay, ! And it's about a striker who investigates a murder at a football club. You know, obviously doesn't get the police involved because why would you? The striker investigates, and like apparently like there's some really just like random weird snippets in there, like they'll be talking about something and they'll mention like the local reservoir or something, and then he'll go on to like a paragraph about like, oh, the so-and-so reservoir was built in 1961 and feeds the towns of this and that, and it's like,
have you read this book by any chance?
No, but I have watched a video about someone who reviewed it, and if anyone watches that and they think, oh, I need more, he's written a second book.
Oh, what's it called? Defender?
I don't actually know. Right, let me see. Yeah, you can really tell we didn't have a lot to say about Everton, really.
Well, like I said to you before stream, we'll still waffle for an hour.
Yeah, striker, and then there was another one.
Substitute.
Can't seem to find the other one. But yeah, if anyone fancies a good read, that's I think you can buy it on Amazon. So if anyone you don't like, see if it's their birthday coming up, you got a good present there for you. But anyway, let's go through some comments and we'll do some predictions. Richards and Munoz need to be switched on for Njai. Yep, I agree. Well, it's Njai, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can't wait to see Wharton versus Everton. Yeah, honestly.
He looked annoyed when he got taken off actually against Doncaster.
I think he was, yeah. Because I read the comments afterwards, and I think the original plan was only 45 minutes. And then obviously he played an hour because he wanted to stay on. But
yeah, when he
came
Daddy
off, Glasser took him off.
Yeah, but when they took him off, they zoomed in on him. He looked fuming. He was like, "Why?
Really?
Why?" Yeah, like he was upset to give Glasser a handshake. He was like, "Oh," he looked fuming. But that's something you want. You want him to play, and he wants to play. So,
yeah, absolutely. And also as well, I think for him, I don't think from when I did my research on him, I don't think he's ever really had a long injury. Mm-hmm. So he's probably just like, you know,
he gets to get back out there.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, like he had, and obviously it was an operation, so it wasn't even really like an injury. It's more like just recovery time, really, wasn't it?
Yeah,
so
he just had time off.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I think he's been our biggest miss this season, like by far. Like forget Elise not being there. For me, Wharton not being 100%.
Oh yeah, put it this way. I reckon if you didn't have Wharton this year, like we are a 14, 15, 13 place team. If we had Wharton all season, top 10. Like he is the difference maker in our team.
Yeah, absolutely. And just like because obviously like the way we are, because we can't really progress on the left-hand side so well, it means that they kind of other teams pack out the middle a little bit more. And obviously, if you've got someone like Wharton, you can get through that.
Wharton will probably make Eze and Mitchell play better.
Yeah, he absolutely he will. And imagine like those balls going over the top to Sarr as well. I mean,
just
that's
putting it in behind.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. But yeah, Sean saying, is they still injured?
No,
he just had it was already pre-arranged that he wasn't going to play the cup game because I know that they were deciding whether to not play the cup game or the last league game. They opted to play him in the league game rather than which I think was the right decision. City are beating Real Madrid 1-0 against a run of play. I forgot the Champions League's on tonight. Actually, it's the playoffs, isn't it? They play like how they used to. We're due a win against Everton. I've actually got our head-to-head record against him. Wow.
Oh.
Do you know the last time we beat them?
Was it Benteke?
No. Not as long ago as that. And this is cup games as well.
4-0 Vieira.
Yeah. And then in the league was 3-1. Oh, Conor Gallagher got 2 goals. How do I not? Oh, it was on my birthday as well.
Oh, no, I remember that. Gallagher scored a screamer, remember? He got it off the heart and then whipped it top bins.
Yes. No, I do remember that. And then, you know what? Honestly, since we've been promoted, right, we've only beaten them 4 times.
Ugh. And that's in all comps as well.
That's all comps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. That's 26 games. 4 wins in 26.
Stink against Everton. How many of those are draws out of
so of those 26, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 draws, 4 wins.
Out of 26. It's about even.
Yeah, but then there's 11 losses.
Yeah. I mean, there's more points than losses.
Yeah. But
it's still not good, though, is it?
It's a bit stinky. I'm not going to lie. I think Big Sam managed to get the best out of Benteke. Yeah, absolutely. I think just played to his strengths, really. Those days of Bolton, Ivan Campo, Fernando Hierro, JJ Okocha. So good they named him twice. Yuri Djurkaeff, firing Kevin Davies. Yeah, they were getting like European football like every season, I think, back then. Where was Sarford Doncaster? Apparently he was ill. So yeah. I think that's
score predictions.
Score predictions, right?
You throw yourself under the bus now.
I actually think it's going to be a draw.
Oh no! Are we going to predict the same thing?
I'm saying 1-1. So.
Oh no! I said the same thing. I said 1-1.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think
Moyes is on a good run.
Yeah, he's on a good run. The only thing I will say though, they are playing Liverpool tomorrow, which reminds me I need to do my prediction for that game. They are playing Liverpool tomorrow, so that could work in our favour. But I just think our record against them is terrible. I think they're on a good run. I think we're going to struggle to break down their low block. But then equally, I don't think they're going to have enough in attack to really get past us. So, to be fair, for me, it was a toss-up between 0-0 and 1-1. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going 1-1.
All right. Right. Thanks, everyone, again for watching. We appreciate it. I know that the FA Cup's on right now and the Champions League. So thank you for picking us over them, although I'm sure you probably have that in the background.
Watching it alongside.
Yeah.
I know that's what Chairman's doing. Chairman's got his tablet with us on it and then a TV with all the Champions League on it.
Yeah, that's where it's got. I might even put that on ITV and then get another one on the thing. Earth is saying that he thinks that the Everton will beat Liverpool. That's a bold
VAR Paul. Well, you put it in there. VAR is going to win it for Liverpool.
Liverpool. And Animal thinks 2-1. And no, thank you, Kevin. Thank you for tuning in, mate.
Big up.
Big up everyone, and we will see you at some point this week.
Let's hope the outro plays.
Let's hope the outro plays. If not, I've got it ready.
Up the Palace.
Up the Palace. Eagles. No, it's not doing it, is it?